All right, let's talk about C Sharp. You've got these two concepts that are super powerful, but honestly, it can be a little confusing at first. Delegates and events. In this explainer, we're going to break them down, see how they work together, and show you how they help you write some really clean, really powerful code. So let's jump right in.
So let's kick things off with a problem that, every single developer runs into. How do you get different parts of your application, different objects, to talk to each other without creating this giant, tangled mess? What we're really after is clean, loosely coupled communication. And this is where C# gives us a really foundational tool called a delegate. You can think of it as the fundamental building block for the entire communication system we're about to build. So what exactly is it? Okay, at its heart, a delegate is kind of like a variable, but instead of holding a number or a piece of text, it holds a reference to a method. It's basically a contract that says, hey, I can point to any method you want as long as it has this exact signature and this exact return type. And it's type safe, which is great because it means no nasty surprises when you actually run your code. Okay, so here's what makes delegates so incredibly flexible. A delegate doesn't just have to hold one method, it can hold a whole list of them. That's what we call multicast. You call the delegate just once, and bam, it fires off every single method on its list. This feature right here is so powerful, it's actually the foundation that events are built on. Let's make this real. How does this actually look in code? Well, first, you declare the delegate's signature. Think of this as the blueprint. Then you create a method that perfectly matches that blueprint. But step 3, that's where the magic happens. You create a new delegate instance and just assign your method to it, just like you would with a regular variable. And finally, you just call the delegate, and it turns around and calls the method it's pointing to. It's that simple and that powerful. Okay, hold on a second. This brings up a really important question, right? If a delegate can do all this, it can hold methods, call them, even call a whole bunch of them at once. If they're so great, why on earth did the creators of C# bother creating something else called an event? Well, the answer really boils down to two key things: safety and, frankly, just good design. So let's talk about events, and you'll see how they take the idea of a delegate and add this crucial layer of protection and structure on top. What events do is they give us a formal structure for a really elegant design pattern, something called the publisher-subscriber pattern. It's a simple idea. One object, the publisher, sends out a notification. It basically shouts, hey, something happened. And then any number of subscriber objects can listen for that shout. And the best part? The publisher has no idea who is listening. And this is the absolute key takeaway right here. An event is, for all intents and purposes, a delegate with a very strict set of rules. Think of it as a delegate that's been wrapped in a protective layer. While pretty much anyone can subscribe to the event, only the class that actually owns the event is allowed to trigger it or raise it. And it's these protections that are the real superpower of events. That little event keyword, it's the key. It enforces encapsulation. It means that subscribers can only add themselves to the notification list or remove themselves. They can't wipe the list clean, and crucially, they can't pretend to be the publisher and trigger the event themselves. This gives you a really safe, one-way communication channel. And when you look at the code, you can really see this division of labor in action. The publisher declares the event. Then a subscriber comes along and uses the += operator to say, hey, add me to the list. And then, and only then, the publisher's own internal logic gets to decide when it's time to trigger that notification. It's clean, it's safe, and it's predictable. Okay, so we've looked at them one by one. Now for the fun part. Let's put them head to head in a direct comparison. This is where it's all going to click into place. This table right here, this is the whole story. Look at invocation. With a delegate, anybody that has a reference to it can call it. That can lead to chaos. With an event, nope. Only the class that declared it has that power. And encapsulation? A delegate is an open book. It exposes its entire list of methods. An event protects that list completely. So the bottom line is, you use delegates for general purpose callbacks, but the moment you need to broadcast a notification, you almost always want the safety and structure of an event. So we've gone through all the technical bits, but why does any of this actually matter when you're building software? What's the real so what for us as developers? It all comes back to this one simple idea. Events aren't some brand new, totally separate thing. They are the application of delegates for a very specific and very common problem. They take all the power and flexibility of delegates and then wrap it in this crucial layer of safety and predictability, which stops other parts of your program from messing things up. Understanding this relationship, this idea of having a powerful, raw tool like a delegate and then a safe, specialized version of it like an event, that's not just a C# thing. It's a core pattern you'll see over and over again in good software design. So the real question is, now that you've got this pattern in your toolkit, what incredible, robust applications are you going to build with it?